some very exciting news for Alaska, and I sure hope that you can appreciate this. Before I hand over the mic, one last order of business here. It's more great news for Alaska, more progress. Today, I'm going to announce my nominee for Alaska's top lawyer, our Attorney General. Before I tell you who he is, let me tell you a little bit about him. He completed his undergrad studies from Harvard, graduated from Georgetown University Law Center with a JD and a Master's of Science in Foreign Service joint degree. A member of the United States Marine Corps since 1993, and he served both in active duty and reserves as an infantry and reconnaissance officer. This includes several years with Anchorage-based Echo Company, 4th Reconnaissance Battalion, the Marine Corps Reserve's premier cold weather reconnaissance unit. He's been a member of the Alaska Bar since 2000. In July of 2002, he left his private practice in Anchorage to serve his country in the aftermath of September 11th. He knew, after those terrorist attacks, that he could, in the capacity that he would bring with his education, with his experience, that he could better serve his country on a different level than where he had been. So, recognizing there the aftermath of September 11th terrorist attacks, became director on the National Security Council and National Economic Council of the White House. In 2006, he was nominated by President Bush and unanimously confirmed by the U.S. Senate to serve as the Assistant Secretary of State for Economic, Energy, and Business Affairs. He served as a senior advisor to the Secretary of State and other top U.S. government officials on the formulation and execution of policy. As Assistant Secretary of State, he focused on international energy issues, including working with the Office of the Federal Coordinator for Alaska's natural gas transportation projects for our gas line. As you can see, our nominee provides a broad array of expertise, experience, judgment that will significantly and positively affect Alaska today and into our future. He has a strong Alaska legal background and public service record in the state. His leadership and negotiating achievements at the highest levels of the U.S. government, including on issues of vital importance to all of us, to everyone in the state of Alaska, will help ensure that the interest of Alaska and our citizens are advanced and are safeguarded. His recent work in Washington on issues ranging from the Alaska natural gas pipeline, Arctic policy, law of the sea, opening aviation markets to overseas, it has already benefited Alaska, and I can't wait until you know more about him. On a personal note, he and his wife of 15 years, who is a native of Fairbanks, and his father-in-law is a former Alaska lawmaker, they have 3 beautiful daughters together. Their home is here in Alaska. Their hearts are for Alaska and for Alaskans. And they know what they're getting into, too. Public service is not easy. It's not easy on daughters, and he has 3 of them. And I've warned him, but he's up for the challenge anyway, and that says a lot about this man's character and his fortitude. It isn't easy, and there are many, many other things he could be doing in the name of public service or private sector progress. Instead, he's chosen to offer his services to Alaska. This family's home is here. Their hearts are here. So with this thorough explanation, let me conclude by saying that this person is enormously qualified to serve as Alaska's Attorney General. And it's now with great pleasure here on the peninsula that I announce our nominee for AG. That's Dan Sullivan. No, not that Dan Sullivan. As much as I like our new mayor of Anchorage, Daniel S. Sullivan, I'm going to invite him up to say a few words. I want to introduce him to all of you, and I do hope that you will warmly welcome Dan Sullivan.